You can't hold back your spouse from the dreams of your family. Even if you don't believe in it, you should respect your spouse enough to say, fine, I'm going to go one time. You have to give your spouse always one time. Welcome to the Maverick Entrepreneur Podcast, where business success meets personal purpose. Here we empower entrepreneurs to strike that perfect balance between massive growth and unwavering values. Dive deep into strategies, inspirations, and stories that ensure you set your foundation in faith and don't compromise your family on your ascent to the top. Welcome back for another episode of the Maverick Entrepreneur. We're so glad you're with us. And today, I get to hang out with my wife. Thank goodness.
Finally,
right? It
yeah,
feels like
I haven't
that.
seen you in like
I
days
know.
and
It's like,
days.
why do we have to do a podcast just to hang out together?
Well, we used to hang out Thursday mornings, and then we decided to do podcasts instead now. So here we are.
I don't know if that's wisdom. Maybe we should just go back to date Thursday morning.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was fun. We got to do that.
Mhm.
Maybe since this episode, we're going to talk about why we goal set. Maybe why don't we goal set about spending Tuesdays and Thursday mornings together?
That would be great.
Yeah.
Once this podcast explodes, maybe we could spend more time together.
Prophesy.
Put it on our goals.
I feel like on Tuesdays they're so intense because we're doing the business of Hubbard.
Yeah.
You know, our marriage agenda, that we don't want to hang out with each other when we're done because we're so feisty.
Yeah.
We got to get sweeter.
Should,
I'm going to set a goal.
Should we tell them how our marriage agenda went this week?
No.
Okay.
Why? I want to move, touch, and inspire people, not depress them to call their counselor.
Okay.
Man, but I'm telling you, when you talk about touchy subjects, you know, sometimes it gets fire. And, you know, if you want fire in the bedroom, sometimes you got to get put up with fire in the kitchen. Not literal fire in the kitchen.
Wow.
It could be fire at the coffee shop.
Although I had fire in the kitchen before.
You have.
The tacos?
The tacos, yeah.
My famous burnt crunchy
everyone
tacos.
knows. You know what's so funny? I actually crave burnt foods now because of your cooking.
Thank
And
you.
it's sad now that you've like matured in your cooking.
Yeah.
It's like I
Not
missed
as burnt.
I missed the burnt taste.
I burnt your bacon this morning. You didn't notice?
Oh, I loved it. I didn't.
Perfect.
You know what's honestly, I didn't notice it because I just innately loved it.
Well, I burnt it and I was like, oh, well, Matt will eat it.
It's true. I did eat it, huh? So
Anyway.
that wasn't subconscious.
No, it was burnt and I was going to throw it away. And then I realized that you would eat it. So I didn't throw it away.
I know, it's so good. You programmed me to eat mostly burnt meals. Oh well, I digress.
Fantastic.
We're here
Goal
to
setting.
goal setting. You know, I honestly want to talk about it because it's amazing how many people will email me or DM me and asking me these questions, and I'm thinking to myself, I got to get back to the fundamentals because we've just done it so long. It's kind of like second nature.
Right.
But we have slacked this year. I will tell you, we have
Well.
slacked this year, and it's part of the price we're paying. Is I used to be OCD, and my goal setting book was with me in every car, at my office here. It followed me around because you would get annoyed that I'd leave it on the counter, and then you put it away and be like, "Where's my goal setting book?" Because you got to be you got to have the goals on the front of your mind.
Mhm.
And I think what happens is we get away from that, always have it subconsciously and consciously around us, in us, through us, that we're not even sticking to our own principles of goal setting.
Yep. I think so. I think people get overwhelmed by goal setting because it sounds like a big feat, a big task to sit down and think about your life in the way
Yeah,
of
but when we
goals.
first met, I remember you
Well,
felt
it
that
did.
way.
It overwhelmed me.
Yeah.
But now
I'm gonna pull up a slide. Go ahead and talk.
now I
babe.
can honestly see the value of it because in my mind, I reframed it from like, oh, I'm going to do all these crazy things that is out of my reach and just put it on paper because it makes me feel good. It actually has brought so much more intentionality and planning into my life that can create some structure and actually meet the vision. And I like to think about it as a life vision, as a big picture of what do you want someday for your family? What do you want someday for your
Right.
kids? And so it used to scare me because I would be like, well, I'm just going to put this on paper and then I know I'm not going to do it. And then I'm going to feel bad about myself. But now I get really excited about it and it keeps us united in the daily functions of our life. So when he's doing something, I don't have to sit there and be like, why is he doing that? Why is he going to do that? Or even for myself, why am I doing this? Why am I spending time doing this? And because it's justified in my head, it actually makes sense, all the things that we do.
Yeah.
So it's very purpose. It's living a life on purpose. It's really less about putting goals on paper, but living a life on purpose is how I have learned to see it.
You said it so well, but I'm so bummed I can't find that slide. I'm gonna have to just give it out to everybody as soon as I find it. I saw this great slide this day that broke it down in a way that I'm like, that's genius because most people we get caught up in the rhetoric of goal setting. They think just because they write down some of the stuff they want to do, they're automatically
Yeah,
gonna
like
hit
goal
it.
setting's not like blab it and grab it or like airy fairy, just write it down.
Yeah,
There's an element to shifting your mind when you write something down. It says to write the vision plainly on paper. The Bible talks about that. So it is really powerful to do that, but that's not going to change the way you act and the way you live.
I love it. Ask and you shall receive. I just got it.
Ask and you shall receive.
Yeah, that's right. So I saw this, when I go through all my old stuff, I find I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I wonder why I don't use that anymore. And it's because I was getting away from the fundamentals. I thought if we talk about goal setting like at another level, it would help people. But I realized this is the most important is building out the framework and the framework. And then you could say which part your brain resonates with. Because I was telling a story, babe, about how remember when we were doing all that goal setting and we were going to like T-Harv and we were doing Millionaire Mind, and then we went
Mhm.
and did that one test and talked about our personalities and our mind and
Mhm.
how we can work together. It was almost like marriage counseling,
Yeah, and then they gave me a number and he got a number, and then you look in the book on compatibility of the two numbers and they were like, these are the two exact opposite types of people that should be in a marriage relationship. And I'm like, wow, could have showed me that before we got married.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't. I'm glad we didn't know about it, but it got us a sense of humor because I was always trying to, because you kept trying to get me to chill out and do less.
Still am,
Yeah, but
but
no,
yes.
the test said I'm a triple processor. And so I got to have
Oh gosh.
multiple things going on at all times. Otherwise, my mind gets bored and then I do dumb things. But if I always have plates spinning, it keeps me actually more focused.
Is that why like that's when random things show up in Amazon boxes at our front door
Well, I
that's like
mean,
he
that's
must have been bored.
yes, probably, but that helps a lot too. We've got some really good product out of it. Um,
Gosh.
oh wow. So you're not supposed to call me out on my own podcast.
Oh, sorry.
Wow, yeah, wow. So the funniest thing was it said triple processor, and then they were going through, and then you had a really cool thing too. Your number was really cool, and then I saw the look on her face. She goes, "But the only person that actually can shut down this is a triple processor, and you're married to one." And the look on your face was like, oh, and they were just saying it's the one that will drive you the most crazy.
And since that day, we don't do personality tests.
Yeah, we
Our
just
personality test is lived out on the daily. We
on the
don't need
daily.
it proof. We don't need proof.
Yeah, back to my
We
goal.
don't need scientific
Yeah,
proof.
we're gonna go back to this. So right now, I'm gonna give you this. So maybe write it down, and then if you actually, we're having a poster made of this right now. That's why I had it on my thing because I thought it was so good to see this that if I could get this, I don't care if it's an 8x11 on the cover of your Bible or inside a massive notebook or a poster on your wall. And if you're a dude and it's right above your toilet, every time you pee, you're going to be reading it. Or if
Wow.
you're a woman, we could put it across from the toilet. But listen, someday goal. What's the one thing I want to do someday? What's the one thing you want to do someday, babe?
Hmm. I've done so many cool things. I don't think I need to do any more cool things.
Really? Not a fourth baby?
Someday, I don't want to have a fourth baby. I want to spend like a month in Europe with our kids, and maybe by that point, they would have kids.
Oh, we need to write that down. That was good.
Yeah.
Okay, it's on the podcast. We'll write it down later. We'll watch it. Okay, that's the someday goal. You got to have that someday goal. The next is the 5 years goal. So
What was
based
your
on
someday goal?
my someday goal,
Mm-hmm.
I would love. Oh man, I hate outing this because I know you're not into it now, but I figure if I plant enough seeds, one day you
Oh
love it.
my
My
gosh.
someday goal is to when our kids before they leave the house. So I'm thinking when Merrimare's in junior high and both the other kids are in high school, we take an RV trip for the summer, and the entire summer we RV around the country, and we hit as many national parks as we can or some adventures.
Oh, I am so into that.
You
No,
are?
the problem is you tried to convince me of that when we had a newborn.
Yeah, I
So
know.
that
I'm that was a mistake.
I'm into it now.
You are? I'm
Yes.
pumped. I'm pumped.
We agree on
You were
something.
listen. That is on video, babe. So if you ever get to the point and tell me no, or you're mad at me because an RV pulls up in our driveway that we now own, you cannot be mad because it is on here.
Well, if you sell something first, then you can buy it.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
I'm going to sell your car.
Great.
Okay. So then we have our 5 years goal. So based on my someday goal, what's the one thing I can do in the next 5 years? Maybe we can, like with your goal, we would go just check out Europe, like maybe France, and then maybe the following year we do Italy, then, and we'll build it out
I mean, honestly, within the next 5 years, our kids are still small, so I like more local-ish trips, and I'm obsessed with Lake Powell. So if we
Oh,
could spend like even 3 weeks or a month at Lake Powell while our kids are still in the phase of loving that, because once they get older, they might not love it.
mm,
So I think that's a little more
that was such a great.
achievable.
We did 2 weeks on Lake Powell.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna put that our boat in there just to help inspire people with goal setting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, but then they can't come follow us around out there. That's the only rule. They can go at separate times.
yeah, that's true. No stalkers on Lake Powell. We've had that at the river. Yeah, like, hey, Dr. Matt. I'm like, how do they find us on the river? It's amazing, amazing. But
People are smart.
people are smart. Yeah, the
That's our
5 year
lazy
goal.
river in the backyard, by the way.
Yeah, right. The 5 year goal. Lake Powell for a month would be good. This year, though, 2 weeks was amazing for our family. That was a
Absolutely.
great goal, and we set a goal.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny thing is, we set a goal a long time ago to go on a trip to Lake Powell, and we rented just crap things. And I remember when we left there, my little boy goes, "Dad, why don't we own a boat like that?" And I said, "Son, by next year we will." Thinking I could rent one, but you can't rent a boat. But by the grace of God, by the kindness of God, God lined it up that we were in that boat my kid was pointing at the next year, and that was a game changer.
Mm-hmm.
That changes Lake Powell. That's like living at the Ritz on the water.
Mm-hmm.
It's next level. That's goal setting for you right there. But most people don't do it. All right, then you go. So you start off with the someday goal, the 5 year goal, the 1 year goal. Based on my 5 year goal, what's the one thing I can do this year? Well, it depends. Like for our Lake Powell thing, it was like setting the intention of what boat we wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I didn't think I'd get it in 1 year, but that's what happens when, God's got favor on your life and you're in alignment with it.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty radical.
Yeah.
But then it goes to monthly. So based on my 1 year goal, what's the one thing I can do this month?
Mm.
So I think that's really
good.
important is you got to break it down. It's called stacking. So what you could have that dream for the someday goal, but then you hit the 5 year goal, but then you go to the 1 year goal, and then now we're at the monthly goal where you have to have monthly habits.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have monthly check-ins. We got to look at our financial stats every single month. We got to see, are we on track for that 1 year goal? And if you don't do that monthly, you'll never hit the year goal. And then it goes down to your weekly goal on the pyramid. Based on your monthly goal, what's the one thing you can do this week? Well, the one thing is just knowing you're going after that goal, be a better steward. You might have to increase your business 3% every month. So you got to look at your week. Are you on track to get 3%? 3%, you multiply that over 12 months, that's 36% increase year to year. And people, when they hear you got to have, even if it's 30%,
Mm-hmm.
if I said, I need you to increase your business 30% this year, you get a little overwhelmed. But when I say, hey, can you increase your business 3% this month? You actually you can chunk it down and go, you know what? I think I can. And when you get 3%.
Yeah, like what's your elephant quote?
What's that? How do you eat an elephant? And what's everyone say?
I can't remember. I only remember what you say now.
Oh, yeah,
You're
good.
reprogrammed.
Good. I'm so glad. When I say, how do you eat an elephant? Everyone says, unless you've listened differently, is one bite at a time. It's still overwhelming. I always say, how do you eat an elephant? You stare at the fork. You don't stare at the elephant.
You don't eat elephants, so
What's that?
I say don't eat an elephant.
Yeah, because I've been full, and you said I've gained a lot of weight.
Oh, stare at the fork.
Stare at the fork. So that's your weekly goal, which breaks it down to your daily goal. Based on your weekly goal, what's the one thing I can do today? It's so easy. Like now that Starbucks is $6 a coffee, I used to say this when it was $3 a coffee, but 3 times 30 is what?
90.
3 times 30. So you get 90, you multiply that out by how many months, how much money is that? You start looking at, now it's $6 for any sort of drink. I went there the other day and I said, this is my last time at Starbucks. Even me, I can make a coffee at home for $1.
Better coffee.
better coffee.
at home.
And I was thinking to myself, the goal today, your daily goal could be just watch what you're frivolous spending on.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then what you do is I always play a goal is if I watch my frivolous spending and let's just say I saved $200, I'm going to match whatever I say. So then I doubled it to 400. And you add that up over months, that's a lot of money. And then people will just get in this emotional, and I'm the worst at it, but you got to be able to set a goal to hit the goal. And it's so important to know your daily goals matter. And then based on your daily goal, what's the one thing you can do right now? So at the very foundation of everything, it's a little choices that you and I get to make right now that affect our daily goal, that affects our weekly goal, affects our monthly goal, affects our yearly goal. And if we don't correct it on the yearly, then what it will do is mess up our 5-year target. And if we mess up our 5-year target, guess what? That someday goal might never happen.
Wow.
Do you like that poster?
I like it.
Would you buy it?
I don't. Yes, I would.
You're lying to me. You would not buy it. I so
don't
know
buy
you.
things like
It's
that.
because you're married to me.
Yeah.
But do you think I'd buy it if I saw it?
Oh, you'd buy probably 100 and
Oh,
one for every single person that
I know.
you know.
That's what I did with that producer poster.
Yeah, I know.
I know. You didn't
So
like that either.
generous.
I know. Well,
Affecting
it's so
our
funny.
5-year goals with your generosity.
That my producer poster that I read every single day was in my bedroom. Then my wife made it move to my bathroom, but I felt awkward saying it in my bathroom. So then I moved it to the game room over the pool table.
Yeah.
And that still bothered you. And then I thought when we moved to this new house that you weren't going to let me put it up, but you did graciously put it
In
up.
the
It's at
game
the
room.
farthest end of the house, though.
Yeah.
So I have to walk up there when I feel like repeating it to my mind. That's okay. It's on my wall, though.
What else about goal setting?
Well, you tell me, what do you think some of the things that people struggle with? Because here's the truth. You're very good for me.
Well,
You're helping people.
what if someone says
Role play
like,
with me because I'm into it.
Dr. Matt, I really need this information. I'm like hit rock bottom. I need goal setting. I know I need it. I can't afford it though. So how do you expect me to be able to come to your goal setting?
Yeah, I always tell people what you invest in, you get more of. So people that want freebie hands out all the time, like the law of fair exchange is this. I mean, I want to bless a lot of people. It's just not, they don't understand the law of fair exchange. I have a lot of people that do really nice things for me that have blessed me in a lot of ways. Like, just our attorney. Remember what he did? We were going on a trip and he hooked us up in a very big way. Well, when he called me and asked me to come speak for him, I'm not going to charge him. He
Right.
just hooked me up. It's called the law of fair exchange. Even though he wanted to bless me, and I'm so grateful, guess what? I now want to return it in the law of fair exchange so I feel in exchange fairness with him because I just don't want to be a taker.
Right.
And it's amazing how many takers are in the world that they don't understand that, like, listen, if you want it that bad enough, why don't you offer to help me at goal setting? Be a volunteer. And then I'll bless
Yes.
you. I'll give you a book. I mean, I want people that are on the struggle bus to do it, but another free handout is why you're broke because your mentality is broke. See, but the good news is I'd rather people be broke than a poverty mindset. You can't fix a poverty mindset because it's a spirit. A broke mindset just means that you were
You
raised
got
up.
yourself in a bad situation.
Yeah, and you have a broke, there's something on the computer pathway that's broken. All we got to do is you can fix broke, but you can't fix poverty. You got to get delivered from poverty mindset because it's a generational curse of bad thinking, which means that we have to get you delivered. We have to renew your mind, and then we have to replant new neural pathways. It's, I'm going to teach on that neuroscience of money.
Mhm.
That's going to be my next podcast.
Yeah, and also like people that make a lot of money and then all of a sudden it's gone. They make as much as they lose. Yeah, those people like have poverty mentality because they can't keep what they have earned.
Well, there's circumstance. There's many people that go through circumstances, but it's people that win the lotto. So it's not that they've earned it because you break poverty mindset by earning your way and learning the value of a dollar. Poverty mindset is broken through deliverance, and then you have to reprogram by making money, saving money, keeping money. So if you don't learn how to make, save, and keep, then you will go back to your default, which is spending.
Wow.
So the other part of that is that's why they say, like 93% of people or 91% of people that win the lotto are broke within 5 years because they never had the construct or the blueprint to handle that type of money. That's why the Bible talks about the parable of the talents. That's goal setting right there.
Right.
This guy buried it because he didn't goal set and have a plan. The other guy's like, I'm going to take 2 and I'm going to multiply it to 4. One guy got 5 and 5 went to 10, and that because they had a plan. So it's amazing when I have that sort of mentality come talk to me and they want something free, I typically can't do it. It's not even in my consciousness. But if I see a young gun that I could tell they're a hustler, I will purposely say, I mean, I learned this. Remember Dr. Romberg?
Mm-hmm.
Remember? This guy literally, I wanted to get in his world so bad. And I had no money. I was broke, everything. And I saw him speak at a seminar, and I said, I want to come hang out with you. And I found out his whole schedule. And the only day that looked like I could hang out with him were on Saturday mornings. And I said, it looks like Saturday mornings. What if I come wash your car Saturday morning and then you allow me to sit down with you for 15 minutes? And he goes, all right, I could do that. So I showed up my first Saturday. He was blown away that I showed up. And I knew I was going to get 15 minutes. I had all my questions prepared. I was going to honor time. Get this. I went to go wash his car, and he goes, I'm not letting you wash my car. Let's come hang out. We hung out for an hour, had the best time every Saturday. And I still would show up with all my washing stuff every time because I never wanted to take it for granted. I'm here to wash your car, Dr. Romberg. He's like, you're not washing my car. And then we got closer and closer, and he would answer all my questions. Then we just hang out, have coffee, talk about life. Next thing you know, he's trying to get me to marry his daughter. But that was one of...
That's when I cut it off.
That's when you cut it off. I didn't know you
I
yet.
know,
but,
I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Okay.
Shannon, you're sweet.
Well, okay, that's a good story.
No, but the story was that was fair exchange.
Yeah, I love it.
You're cutting me off because you have something
Fair
to say.
exchange. Well, I have one more question because
Okay.
we're going to be wrapping up soon.
Okay.
Because I think this is really important. What if you are a married couple and only one thinks that this is valuable and the other one refuses to partake in the goal setting or do anything that has to do with it?
Yeah, I mean,
So there's like division there around it. What would you suggest?
yeah, I always say try to get your spouse on board because what's going to happen is you're going to come to goal setting, get so spun up, you're going to irritate your spouse.
Yes.
Yeah, and then truthfully, you'll hit 50% of the goals just because there's a ball and chain at home.
So what would you say to the spouse that is anti this or digging their heels in or making excuses as to why they shouldn't have to go?
Well, honestly, because they don't have value for it. So what they're thinking is, oh, here goes my spouse again, getting all hyped up. Here goes another thing. I don't want to spend the money. I don't want to invest in it because they don't believe in it. I would tell you that if you're that spouse, you DM me and we need to talk about it because you can't hold back your spouse from the dreams of your family. Even if you don't believe in it, you should respect your spouse enough to say, fine, I'm going to go one time. You have to give your spouse always one time. Be honest. What happened yesterday?
Oh my gosh.
This is relevant.
Of course. Yes.
What happened yesterday?
I was hungry and you wanted to take me to eat somewhere and you said, trust me, I found this awesome place. And I was very hesitant because his version of awesome place is usually not my version of awesome place.
Yeah, so you have trust issues with me.
Yes,
Yeah.
there's a
In
gap.
that moment, I finally called you out and I said, so you don't trust me is what I'm hearing.
There's a gap there.
Yeah, there was. Okay.
And
what
then
happened?
we pulled up to a food truck. So furthered the trust gap.
Yeah, she went
And I'm
crazy.
like, wow, you're bringing me to a food truck. Thanks.
And then what happened?
And then I got the food from the food truck and it was amazing. And I was very happy.
Amazing. And the vibe was good.
Yeah, everything
Live
was great. And
music.
he was right and I was wrong. And I should
It's
trust
not
his
about right or wrong. Don't
pick
perpetuate
in the
that.
food.
I cancel that. Listen, it's not about right or wrong. It's about rebuilding some trust. I didn't know my wife didn't trust me in that category, which just happened a couple weeks ago. The same sort of thing. What was that one?
You said you had a surprise date night.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, this is good. So now I'm realizing we have trust issues that we are rebuilding right now. I'm going to add it to goal setting because I said, hey, I have a surprise. I want to take you on a date night. And she goes, well, are you taking me to a gala? I said, what? No, I'm not taking a gala. You taking me to a seminar? No, what is wrong with you? Are you taking me to a fundraiser? I'm like, no, I'm taking you on a date. Why do you have that look on your face? Like because I want to surprise you. I don't trust you. What? Yeah, I think you're taking me somewhere I don't want to go. And so I had to break down and tell her that I got her VIP backstage and we're hooking her up to Dan and Shay, which
was awesome.
she had the time of her life. So
way better than a fundraiser or a gala.
yeah, so it told me right there, I don't have trust equity. I must have burned it somewhere because I had to freaking ruin my own surprise to take her. But this is my point. She had to say, fine, I'll trust you this one time. She came, had a great time. It built trust. Same thing with the food truck. I built some trust there. So next time I say I have a special place for her, she's going to be less hesitant. You have to go to goal. You have to trust your spouse at least one time. Come to goal setting one time and close the gap. And if it's not a value, you can come up to me and I would give you your money back saying, hey, my spouse she wasn't into it.
And even like from a practical standpoint, if you need to stay home with your kids, if you're the mom or the dad that needs to stay home, then you can do it online and your spouse can go in person and then you can meet afterwards and discuss. And that right there will save you finances. If you don't want to get a babysitter, you can still do it online. So there's so many options to get creative.
It's how bad you want to level up.
How bad do you want it?
And don't come and then not do the follow through. The follow through is every month be in your goal setting book. I purposely, now I'm doing a halfway mark at 6 months. I do a little encounter and take people on. And if you came to goal setting, I don't even charge people. It's the people that don't go to goal setting that they want to do it for the first time. I kind of do like a refresh halfway through the year. Good. I need to start doing it quarterly because you know what? These people got to have it in their face all the time because if we don't do quarterlies and monthlies and weeklies and dailies, then guess what? We're not going to hit that target goal. And you got to dream big and go after big things. Otherwise, you're going to play small.
We don't want to play small.
No. Thank
level,
you for adding value. Are we trusting each other?
Yep.
Can we just commit to having one of my goals is a better marriage agenda where you're not mad at me?
Yeah, we're going to do that.
Is that a goal?
It's a goal.
We're already goal setting right now, people.
Anyways,
hopefully this helps somebody. Hopefully this helps. I've been getting a lot of feedback. They're watching our marriage stuff. I don't know if it's helping them.
That's even more spicy.
Oh, that's spicy. But it's true. Like, you know what? I said it before. If you want fire in the bedroom, you got to handle the fire in the kitchen. And it's a true statement. Pastor Jurgen taught me that. We married feisty women.
Yeah.
And you've not toned it down over the years. You've gotten more feisty.
I guess that's what happens.
But I can handle more spice in my older age.
Great.
So anyways, listen, everybody. We're always glad that you're with us on the Maverick Entrepreneur. I hope that you can pick up some of these things that can help inspire you, that can help you think bigger, that can help you want to come together with your spouse. And if you're single, I'll just tell you, you're still single, ready to mingle. Find someone that wants to set goals. Honestly, if I was dating someone and they weren't into goal setting, we wouldn't be on a date. My goal was to take her on a date. That happened. My goal was to get her to church. That happened. My goal was to put a ring on the finger. That happened. It happened because I had goals already. I remember I told her, can you hurry up and graduate? I want to get married. And she goes, what are you talking about?
Crazy.
She thought I was crazy.
Almost 20 years later.
I was already talking. Listen, I had
crazy.
my list of what time a girl that I wanted, I dated enough to know what I didn't want. And I was like, oh yeah, why would I wait? I'm not dating just to date. I'm dating to marry. Don't waste your time on people that don't want to develop their mind, increase their capacity to be more, live more, and do something bigger in their life. So if you don't dream big, then you either need to help rewire your mind or get around big dreamers. It will help you, I promise. So that's it.
That's it.
That's it. And we'll see you at goal setting. And we'll see you at the next episode of the Maverick Entrepreneur. Thanks, babe, for joining me.
Of course. Thank you.
See you, everybody.